that decrease in globalization that we're seeing right now, whether it's because of tariffs, because of defense spending, is pretty interesting. Something that's just caught my eye over the past week as something to think about. Some people may frame that as, individual countries are doing their part, or you may frame it as, a decrease in cooperation where we had this with globalization. You can think of it as, I suppose it's two sides of the same coin. I tend to think of it as cooperation, where everybody can help each other out. But certainly there has been a big focus on European countries spending more on defense spending, as you said, because they theoretically can only rely on themselves at this point.
Yeah, it is. It's, again, unfathomable amounts of money, right? I mean, defense spending is going to be any nation's biggest spend. And as you said, we seem to have hit this peak of globalization over the past decade, maybe, where all of these costs, they're like socialized. They're spread across all these different nations that have basically agreed to protect each other if there's any sort of conflict. But now everyone's kind of taking a step back and realizing that that wave is going in the other direction. So we're all having to then spend, especially other nations in Europe particularly, having to spend money on their own defense, which is a tremendous amount of money that's not been contemplated previous to now since World War II.
Yeah. And it's not as if the US is cutting its defense spending. I think we're, on track for the first $1 trillion defense budget here either this year or in the coming 1 or 2 years. Again, we can get into the bullet points of where this money is being spent and what it's being spent on. But at the end of the day, what you need to know in the mortgage market is that there's a limited number of dollars out there and they're all chasing the highest yield that they can. And as these yields go up on government debt, the quote unquote risk-free rate, everything downstream of that, including your mortgage rate, is going to rise as well.